I couldn't stop laughing at my best friend's funeral. I sat in the back pew at Chrissy's funeral, trying to pay attention to all of the emotional speeches being told my family members and friends. She was my best friend, but her family didn't want me there, even though I was the one who put the funeral together. Her family never truly cared about her, but they showed up and pretended to cry in front of everyone. They all said nice things about her, but none of them would acknowledge me and our friendship. It was like I didn't exist. All the pictures on the big screen were pictures of her when she was younger and still loved her family. I could barely contain my sneer. After the service, I stood by the buffet table, shaking hands and thanking people for coming. Chrissy's older brother stopped in front of me and folded his arms across his chest. "Let's face it, you're the reason she's dead," he said loudly. Silence fell and everyone turned to stare in shock. His parents looked smug, and I knew they told him to make a scene. I laughed. I couldn't help it. It was so absurd. "How do you think that?" I asked. "You drove her to her grave," he said with a snarl. "You were always a bad influence on her and she never really liked you. It should have been you." Instead, I was shocked, but he continued speaking. "You were always talking her into doing things she knew her family wouldn't approve of. She started smoking because of you. She wouldn't have skipped class if it wasn't for you. You're the reason she started swearing." On and on he went, giving me examples of reasons I wasn't a good friend. I started laughing, and once I started, I couldn't seem to stop. I was almost delirious. If Chrissy was here, she would be laughing too. "Why are you laughing?" he cried. "Because you're so full of bull," I said through my laughter. "You obviously didn't know your sister as well as I did. Thank you for coming to her funeral, but I think it's time for you to leave." My hands were shaking at my sides, and I had to physically stop myself from slapping him across the face. I was so angry, but at the same time, I found this whole situation funny. A funeral is not the place to accuse someone so harshly. I hated that her family had such a hold over the people in this town, and I hated that no one knew the truth about how they treated their daughter and sister. It was time for me to expose them to the town. "Everyone here knows you're a horrible person," Chrissy's brother snapped, not moving an inch. "Because of that, there's no way you're in her will. Everything she owns will go to her family, the people who truly care about her. You will get nothing, not even a picture of her." "You think I'm here for the things I might get from her will?" I asked in shock. "I love her. That's why I'm here," he snorted. "You're just a gold digger who latched onto her so deep that it took her dying to get rid of you." "That's enough," someone said coldly. Everyone turned to the open doorway in surprise, where Chrissy stood with a rage-filled look on her face. The whispers began, and her family looked like they'd seen a ghost. I snorted at that thought. "What is this?" her mom demanded. I joined Chrissy by the door and turned to face everyone. "Just a little experiment," I said. "We wanted to know how her family would react, and I was right. You're all just so fake, and now everyone knows you're fake too." Everyone began giving her family odd, judgmental looks, and her parents looked panicky. "Chrissy," her mom gushed, "it's amazing to see you well and alive." She opened her arms to give Chrissy a hug, but my best friend backed away with a disgusted look. "After how you treated my best friend, you expect me to just let everything go?" she said. Chrissy smiled at me and looped her arm through mine. "I've learned so much about you guys through this experiment," she continued. "My best friend is my family. You're all dead to me." She dragged me out of the church, and once we were far away from the building, we both cracked up laughing at the looks on the faces of her family.